Welcome to Is It Wrong to Watch So Much Anime with Jason and John, as we give you a quick 15 to 20 minutes of inside opinion and updates about the world of anime as we see it. This program is brought to you by the Parker Williams Branch, a Harris County Public Library. Let's go over the rules. This is a planned topics podcast. We will try and stick to the topic at hand and not have too many tangents. Number 2, while recording, we will have a 15-minute timer. We will try to wrap everything up within that 15 minutes. If we are having a good conversation towards the end of that time, there will be a bonus 5 minutes to wrap it up. Number 3, if the conversation is still too good to stop, we will stop recording that episode and start recording an overtime episode back-to-back released on the same day. And a fair warning, spoilers happen. Oops, our bad. Ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas from us here at the Parker Williams Library. It is Christmas Day, and
as you can see by the hat.
And I'm pretty sure you've gotten out all your presents, and now that it's so late in the afternoon, you're waiting for people to arrive, or maybe you're not. So you're taking out all your tech and going, well, how can I ignore my family completely?
Mm-hmm. For those of you still at home with your family.
And the best way is to spend some time with us. So
Talking
we're doing
about anime.
Our 2020 fall season wrap up. Wrapping it up just for you. That's your present this year. So this season, I watched an inordinate amount of anime. So I kept track of 21 different shows.
Yes, and I ambitiously assumed that I would do the same thing, and the reality was not anywhere near me. So,
well, you also got a PlayStation 5.
That's true. I got lucky. So this is also going to be more like, outside of fall wrapping up, it's going to be John, selling me on some of these shows to add them so I can actually start watching them. So that'll be interesting.
Yep.
All right.
So let's get started. First category we have out of 9 is just plain fun. So the first one that I have for that is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Also have that one.
So you have Itadori Yuju, who is basically a regular guy, and then
he eats a cursed finger.
Yeah.
And then gains powers and is sentenced to die. And that's, essentially like the first episode and like 2 minutes of the second one. So
yeah, so it's kind of Bleach-like in that he needed to save somebody, so he got these magic spirit cursey powers.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. It really is just a fun show, honestly.
I'm excited to see where it's going because it's been progressively getting better as we get deeper into the story. So I'm pretty sure for those who read the manga that it's already been out, that it's going to really go somewhere and it's going to be significant and meaningful.
Yes, that one. Another one that I saw that was fun for me was Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. So that one is about a princess who gets kidnapped, right, by the demon lord, and she's his hostage in his castle. And her biggest problem is not that she's been kidnapped; it's that she cannot get some decent sleep.
Yep.
So she goes around.
Cheap pillow, cheap sheets,
yes,
no comforter,
all that kinds of stuff. So she goes around the castle, breaking out of her cell, trying to find these various things to help her sleep better. And in the process,
it's like a quest,
terrorizing all the demons.
Yes, because they've never met a captive who's actually ever done anything like this.
Mm-hmm. And that was really fun. That was one that I kind of picked up at random. I saw it, I thought, let's try it out. And it was really funny. It's cute. That's the word. So
another one that was just plain fun from my list of picks was Tonikaku Kawaii or Tonikawa.
Fly me to the moon.
So you've got NASA, who's named after NASA, who is supposed to achieve further than the stars. And then you've got Tsukasa, who basically saves him from being run over by a truck. And he pretty much pledges his love for her.
Yes, he asks her, out on a date. Because, you get saved by a pretty girl. Of course, you're going to think, wow, let me ask her out. And then she counters by saying, yeah, sure, if you marry me. If you marry me. Kind of putting the cart before the horse, but it's still a really fun show. I like it.
So it's a fun show. There's a lot of sweet moments between the two of them. It's supposed to be the story of the Moon Princess and the Woodcutter in a modern day adaptation with all the wacky friends and everything.
I think that one's on Crunchyroll.
It is.
Nice.
Category number 2, consistent performance. The two that I have down for this are Fire Force and Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon. Both of these shows just consistent performance. They didn't give you a lot of what was going to happen before the season started, but throughout the whole season it's been constant progression in story, in depth, in character development. Just really consistent.
I have Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon too, but I also have Golden Kamuy. I know that's one I've watched and you haven't. Season 3 just picks up where season 2 left off, where they're going after some of their old crew members because they were betrayed and they kidnapped the girl, a Sherpa. So you've got Sugimoto and his new band of gold hunters going after them, trying to follow them. And also, I haven't seen all the episodes, but I've watched a good half of the season, and it's been just as funny, it's been just as interesting, and just as exciting, especially with them expanding on some of the side characters, not the main ones. Yeah, so that one's been really good. So I'm looking forward to finishing that. I think it finishes next week.
All right. Category 3, surprise favorites. These are the ones that we started watching on
Sleepy Princess. I really have nothing else to add to that. It's really cute and really funny because you see this diminutive little girl scaring, the bejesus out of like the demon lords and the demon generals.
Yeah, there's like a dude whose arm is made out of scissors and like she scares the crap out of him too. She
ends up slaying all these monsters because they can give her a better sleep for night. So you see her like cutting apart an ice demon and stuff like that. It's really fun.
Yeah, for that. Oh yeah, I remember that. So the two that I picked out for surprise favorites were Kuma 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 Bear and Warlords of Sigrifa. Both of them Jason recommended, like, maybe you should give it a shot, that I really, really liked. So in Kuma 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 Bear, I was surprised because I thought it was going to be a cute girl, getting isekai'd somewhere, has some adventures, blah, blah, blah. Pretty standard.
Just described 60% of all isekais. So,
but in this one, you've got Yuna, who is the main character, who is basically isolated from her family. She has an algorithm that buys stocks and sells stocks, and she's super smart, so she makes all this money. So she really just lives in this virtual world. Get the opportunity to be isekai to a different world, including all of her money gets transferred into whatever gold units that they use there. And she goes and starts having adventures. Well, she meets Fina in the woods and she saves her. And then when she gets back to the town, it's Fina that starts saving her with other people. And throughout the story, throughout the different episodes, Yuna really starts to create this family around her. So in a world where she didn't have a family, this world she does have a family and friends and a community that cares about her. So I was really surprised at how well thought out this was and the character development. And then in Warlords of Siegfrieda, I really wasn't expecting fireworks, I guess, because it's like girls flying planes, and it's like, you know what? I love vintage World War II era planes, and so
they baited him.
This totally has it. And I'm like, this is a this and this is a that. And I looked it up on the internet and it's like, oh wait, that's a subset of this type and blah blah blah. You guys don't care.
You're welcome.
Anywho, so you've got Claudia, who is the Grim Reaper, who pretty much gets a bunch of people killed all the time, who comes to this Japanese air base and is surrounded by Miyaku and Azuzu and Sonoka, who basically, again, create this family around this person that felt isolated. And the whole airbase is filled with these, people who really love and genuinely care about each other. A lot of family creation this season, it seems. I don't know. I was surprised at how well everything developed, and now they're at this twist moment and waiting for the end.
Don't spoil that one for me. I know we spoil stuff a lot for them. But,
Oh, yeah.
I'm special.
So, best stories. For best stories, I only have one, and that is Taisho Samurai, Gymnast Samurai. So you've got the three main characters. You've got Jotaro, who is the gymnast. You've got Leo, who is this weird dude who always says, who says he wants to be a ninja indeed. And then you've got Jotaro's daughter, Rei. So you've got these three stories that are going in these three different directions. You've got Jotaro finding out that his gymnastics is really about the love that people show to him. You've got Leo, who has to find the love within dance because he's a dancer. He's like this genius ballet dude. Not ruining too much because it's in like episode 3. And he has to redefine what that love of dance is for him. And then you've got Rei, who has to figure out, she's got this actress mom and she's got this famous gymnast dad. Well, who am I in the middle of all of this? So it's a really interesting story of how these three stories mix and collide and bounce off of one another.
Okay, so for me, I don't know if it's, I don't want to say best stories just because I haven't finished it and I like to merit that based on a whole. But so far, the one I've liked the most is A Run to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 3. And that's because it's expanding more on the dungeon aspect and the monsters. You're getting more focus on them, and it's showing you that throughout all this time that's been going on, they're not just mindless things. They've slowly been gaining sentience, intelligence, emotional range. They can speak. And it's showing you that these monsters that you're so bent on killing are actually becoming just as human as the rest of you, as the rest of these, adventurers. And also showing that sometimes it's the adventurers that can be,
the cruelest.
The cruel ones. And I like that. It changes how you see the series, and it also shows you that overcoming what all those people think of monsters isn't going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. So that's why you're seeing all these judgments and things. And I like that the story is doing that. I think it makes the world and the show overall more interesting. So
cool.
That's why I like that one.
So moving on to visually stunning. The one that I would say is visually stunning the most this season has been Akudama Drive. So you've got
I've heard of that one.
Well, it's got a lot of elements where it's like the fluorescent colors like Miles Morales.
Oh, okay.
Not exactly the same graffiti style.
Yeah.
But it really brings in a lot of textures and colors into it. The playing of lights and things like that. Yeah.
Cool. For me, I just think I put Jujutsu Kaisen. As far as visuals go, unless it's something like, UFO Table doing Demon Slayer episode 19, 18, I'm not going to notice it as much, or unless it's, completely terrible. But I think all the fights I've seen from Jujutsu Kaisen have been just really, really cool. Really fun.
Really well animated too.
Really well animated. And I show up to watch Jujutsu Kaisen for 3 things. So first is the opening, because that sounds really good. Second is the ending, which also sounds really good and done in a completely different art style. And then the episode in between. And each week I come away feeling, yes, I like this. This looked really cool. And, so that's mine for the 5th category.
Yeah. For Jujutsu Kaisen, if you want to know what each one of these characters is like in their heart of hearts, all you have to do is watch that end credit scene.
Yeah.
And then that'll tell you everything you need to know.
It almost steals the show every week. It is a great show.
I sit there and watch it every time. All right, number 6, Worthy Mysteries. So I've got 2. We've got Moriarty the Patriot, which is basically the reverse of Sherlock Holmes, where instead of trying to solve crime, he is trying to make crime, but good crime, so that bad aristocrats are being punished fairly.
Yes.
Right now they're getting into the play between Moriarty and Sherlock,
which I have to look forward to. So
yeah, it's really interesting on how he gets everything like set up so that these crimes, these murders can happen, and then in some cases where nobody gets caught. Then I also have Ikebukuro Westgate Park. It was something that I thought was kind of like, this isn't bad, but every week they bring a different mystery that the main character Makoto has to solve. And it's usually not even just, they're personal problems. So it's really interesting on how he takes a personal problem and makes a community solution out of it.
Okay. I only have one, and that's the new Higurashi, the When They Cry. As far as mysteries go, the whole premise of it is a mystery, even in the original series, because you're always trying to see what's causing all these people to go crazy. And it's the same thing here, because even though if you've watched the original and you have answers, you're seeing all the little changes they've done in between kind of each loop. So on paper, it starts out the same. Everything is kind of like how you remembered it. And then something changes, something dramatically different from what originally happened. And I think that's the mystery that's going to keep me going. I want to know what's causing these changes. Why is this loop happening again when it was supposed to have been resolved? And that keeps me going. That keeps me interested. So I like that one.
So moving on to number 7, I call this wifey sneak peeks. So I watch anime at home, and my wife will be sitting there watching videos on YouTube, social media, whatever. And then she'll be playing on her iPad, and then she'll slowly stop and watch whatever I'm watching for 5-10 minutes, and then go back to whatever she was doing, and then keeps repeating that. So the 2 that I have, the first one is Sleepy Princess and the Demon Castle, because as we've been saying, it's pretty funny. So she likes to see her go all over the castle and then create a mattress.
All the mayhem for one thing to help you sleep at night. But
pretty much.
When you're sleep deprived, you understand it more.
Yeah, especially if you have the Deluxe DX model. And then also the Tonikawa. She also sneaks a peek at that because it's relatable, it's funny.
It's really cute.
It's cute, hence why Kawaii is in its actual name. So, category number 8, I call this I Want More. Because I want more. The one thing,
self-explanatory.
Yeah, pretty much. The one thing that I saw this season that is just like, why isn't there more of this, is Burn the Witch. 3 episodes, they set up this really cool world with this really cool premise, and it's like
it stops.
And it's just like it's like if you got through half of The Mandalorian and they just stopped making it.
Let's see, for me, I just want more of any seasonal that's based off of ongoing source material, so that I don't have to. I know that for a lot of anime, it tends to end somewhere where it gets interesting, but then they had to go on hiatus or whatever, and then they just never picked it up. So, more.
Look, Horizon.
So we're finally getting season 3, so that's good. So, more Sleepy Princess, more Moriarty, more Jujutsu Kaisen, pick a dozen dozen. Anything that has enough material, I want more of it.
All right, last but not least is what I call skip it, because honestly, just skip it. So the 2 shows that I have are Our Crusade, or the new rise of the New World. You got 2 characters, Alice and Iska. Iska is basically the same thing as Kirito. Why am I messing that name up? So basically, he's from SAO, and she's just like, I'm this super, dangerous and talented witch. Fifis. Just skip it. There wasn't enough emotional development, enough character development, enough story development. It's basically episode 1 and 2 have given me all the information I need up to current, and they're at number 11. No thanks. Skip it. The other one to skip is Assault Lily Bouquet. It's basically, what is it? Ruby?
Oh, the thing on Rooster Teeth?
RWBY? Yeah, it's basically that, just from a different video game. So yeah,
Those weren't on my watch list at all, so it's okay.
So skip it. Save yourself some time. That's 7 hours at least that I have freed you.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really have anything to skip, but again, I didn't watch as much this season. If I had watched all the things I wanted, like I planned to, I'm sure I would have found something. But we could just skip those two for sure.
Yeah. So have I convinced you of anything to watch extra?
Akudama Drive, yes. It's been on my mind a little bit, and now, still just selling it. Especially that Miles Morales art style type, comparison. That's pretty cool. I don't know. We watched a lot of the stuff I watched, you ended up watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one for sure.
The only thing that I don't think
And Taisa Samurai. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Those two.
It's if you want some good emotional content, Taisho Samurai is definitely there.
Cool. Then yes, he sold me on those two.
Yep.
Everything else we were already kind of watching at the same time.
And I was already pre-sold on Golden Kamui. I just need to get past the 3rd episode.
Nice.
All right. Well, I guess that wraps it up for us. Merry Christmas and all that jazz.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.